Many of you out there only manage to sneak in an overnight camping trip after work or in the evenings. Or perhaps you might need to do a stealth camp or even have to do an emergency camp on a night where you hadn't planned to. Either way, here are some tips on setting up camp quickly or packing down camp quickly to give you more time to enjoy the outdoors. A tarp is one of the most versatile shelters you can have with you. They are usually pretty lightweight and there are so many options for different shelters. One of the downsides is that they can be a bit tricky to set up properly, especially if you are new to using them. Most tarps will have a few tie-up points on it. Some have more than others, some have loops, and some have eyelets. Either way, help save some time by having your cordage already attached to your tarp. For a lot of tarp shelters, you will need to tie a ridgeline. This is a line going from one tree to the other, which the tarp lies over to keep it above your head. Save time by having your ridgeline already running through the loops of your tarp. That way, when you go to tie it around the trees, it will already be attached and you won't have to thread the cordage through the loops each time. You can also have your prusik loops pre-tied so that when you need to attach it via a stick, they're already there and ready to go. This also applies to the guy lines. Have them pre-tied with at least 3 meters on each corner. This should be enough to tie them out to nearby trees or to the ground. Having your tarp set up this way gives you the option of setting up multiple types of shelter in just a short space of time. Also, don't bother folding up your tarp when putting it away, just stuff it into a stuff sack. That way, the creases won't be on the exact same point each time and wear away the tarp. Another quick method of setting up a tarp, if you have a small one, is to store it in the side or top pocket of your backpack. That way, if a storm is coming in and the winds are going to be strong, you can quickly lash your tarp around a tree in a plough point configuration, and your backpack will act as a weight and keep your tarp from blowing around too much in the wind. On the topic of keeping cordage tied to your tarp, you can hank or fold up your cordage in a way that makes it really fast to untie it all again. Just lay one end of the cord across the palm of your hand and pinch it between your thumb and forefinger. Then loop the cord over your baby finger and round and back over your thumb in a figure of 8 motion. Rotate your wrist slightly as you do it to speed up the process. Then leave enough tag end to do a number of horizontal wraps around the bunched up cord. And then just tuck the tag end in. Now you have created a quick deployment piece of cordage. Next time you need some, just pull on the loose end of cord and it should unravel smoothly, ready for your next task. If you have a tent, you can also tweak a few things to deploy it faster than you would if you did it straight from the bag when you bought it. All you need to do is set up your tent at home or in your garden and tie on all of the guy lines if they aren't tied on already. Most tents tend to come with an inner tent, so roll this out and attach it to your outer tent via whichever method it says to do so on the instructions. Now take out all of the tent poles and lay your outer tent and the newly connected inner tent on top. Then roll up the outer tent and inner tent together and place it back into the stuff sack or carry case. Now when you next go camping, just roll out the tent, put the poles in and stake the tent out with pegs. Within just a few minutes, your tent will be ready to go, and there'll be no messing around having to set up the inner tent again. Some people struggle to get the tent back into the carry bag once they have set it up, and this often happens when you have rolled it up the wrong way. Be sure to roll the tent from back to front, and leave the zips undone. This helps all of the air to move out of the tent as you compress it down when you roll it up. The key is to push down on the tent material each time you make a roll. This consistently squeezes out the air, rather than letting all the air build up towards the end. Some people just don't like tents, and would rather hang between the trees on a hammock. I enjoy camping that way sometimes too, although it tends to bugger my back up after a few days. Much the same as with a tarp, with a hammock it's good to have it ready to be set up quickly. One of the ways you can do this is through the use of carabiners. These make life so much easier when hanging a hammock, and they can take a significant amount of weight. Just wrap your main straps around the tree and attach to your hammock lines via the carabiner. Some hammocks also have the option of having a sleeve. This not only allows you to hang your hammock up in the rain and have it stay dry while you do so, but it also keeps the shape of your hammock so that when you slide the sleeve off, it folds out quickly. It's also much quicker when breaking down camp, as you just pull the sleeve back over the hammock, tuck the remaining cordage in, and it's ready to be packed. No having to try and stuff it in a dry bag or the backpack. Titanium cookware can be expensive, but it has far more positives than negatives. It's 45% lighter than steel, and it's stronger than aluminium. It's the lightest cookware material you can get before you have to sacrifice strength. Due to its nature, cups and pans can be made with thin walls, which means that you can boil water quicker than you can with stainless steel or aluminium. This makes the world of difference when you arrive to a camp spot quite late and you want to get a warm drink or some food on the go quickly. However, the downside is that it doesn't distribute the heat well across the surface, so as a result it develops hot spots. Not ideal when you are cooking meals with raw ingredients, but certainly ideal when all you need to do is boil water. If you're planning to go a bit more bushcraft, then you can't go much wrong with a silver birch bark for a fire starter. The bark is full of oils which are flammable. It can take a spark from a fire still really easily, and it will also take a flame from a lighter even in really wet conditions. So if you're looking for more of a trip where you are trying to use natural materials, then keep an eye out for the silver birch tree. Fairly easy to identify due to its silvery white bark and its small serrated leaves. Foam roll mats can often be seen as outdated in today's modern camping scene. However, despite the bulk and size of them, they offer a far quicker and more convenient setup than an air mattress would. Just take off the straps, roll it out, and you're ready to sleep. The issue with air mattresses is packing them away the next morning. Having to slowly roll the mattress and wait for the air to release each time is not always ideal when you need to get going fast. However, some newer air mattresses do come with a small battery operated pump, which can inflate and deflate your mattress, saving you time on packing away. The question is whether you are willing to take that little bit of extra weight of the pump in your pack. A dry bag is ideal for packing away wet items. It packs down really small when not in use. If your tent or sleeping bag gets wet, you can stuff it in the dry bag and clip it onto your pack. Then worry about drying it out when you get home. It also helps to separate any wet clothing or material from getting your dry clothing damp inside your pack. Not only that, but any plastic or rubbish you have with you on your trip, you can just throw in the dry bag when packing up and then bin it when you get home. If you prefer to have an actual campfire over a gas stove, then a good option is to take a small foldable stainless steel or titanium twig stove. These are usually really portable and can fold down flat so that it fits easily inside your pack. The benefit of these is that many are made with airflow holes which help the fire to burn efficiently. This means less smoke than your normal campfire. You only need to collect small twigs and sticks and you can have water boiling within minutes. Most have the option of a small entrance where you can continuously feed sticks to keep the fire going. But the main benefit to these is that once the fire burns out or you put it out with water, then they only take a few minutes to cool down, and then you can pack it away in your pack and get going. There are other twig stoves out there too, which aren't flat packed, but can be stacked on top of each other. These can burn really efficiently once they get going, as they act as a gasifier with two different layers of combustion. Again, these cool down fairly quickly and are much quicker to clear up than a campfire or waiting for a campfire to burn down before putting it out. Gorilla Tape has a number of great uses when camping. You can wrap it around a stick to store it, or a knife sheath, or even around the handle of your toothbrush. Either way, if you have any rips or tears in your tarp or tent, Gorilla Tape is easy to form a temporary seal. Using actual seam sealant that is designed specifically for tent repairs or air mattress repairs can be a fiddly task. With Gorilla Tape, you don't need scissors or a knife to cut it. You can just tear it and place it over any hole that needs a temporary fix. Then, when you get back home, you can do the repair properly with the right kit. I hope you guys have found some of these tips useful. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to subscribe and be sure to check out the Wilderness Bushcraft Survival and Camping Tips playlist in the video description below. Cheers for watching, and also big thanks to everyone who watched my previous 20 stealth camping tips video. I'll also put a link to that in the description below. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you in the next episode.